Charles Spencer Chaplin was born in London, England, on April 16, 1889. His father was a versatile vocalist and actor, and his mother, known under the stage name of Lily Harley, was an attractive actress and singer, who gained a reputation for her work in the light opera field. Charlie was thrown on his own resources before he reached the age of 10, as the early death of his father and the subsequent illness of his mother made it necessary for Charlie and his brother, Sidney, to fend for themselves. Having inherited natural talents from their parents, the youngsters took to the stage as the best opportunity for a career. Charlie made his professional debut as a member of a juvenile group called the Eight Lancashire Lads and rapidly won popular favour as an outstanding tap dancer. When he was about 12, he got his first chance to act in a legitimate stage show and appeared as Billy, the page boy, in support of first H.A. Sainsbury and then William Gillette in different productions of Sherlock Holmes. At the close of this engagement, Charlie started a career as a comedian in vaudeville, which eventually took him to the United States in 1910 as a featured player with the Fred Carnot Company. He scored an immediate hit with American audiences, particularly with his characterization in a sketch entitled A Night in an English Music Hall. When the Fred Carnot troupe returned to the United States in the fall of 1912 for a repeat tour, Chaplin was offered a motion picture contract. He finally agreed to appear before the cameras at the expiration of his vaudeville commitments in November 1913, and his entrance in the cinema world took place that month when he joined Mack Sennett and the Keystone Film Company. His initial salary was $150 a week, but his overnight success on the screen spurred other producers to start negotiations for his services. At the completion of his Sennett contract, Chaplin moved on to the S&A Company, 1915, at a large increase. Sidney Chaplin had then arrived from England, and took his brother's place with Keystone as their leading comedian. The following year Charlie was even more in demand and signed with the Mutual Film Corporation for a much larger sum to make 12 two-reel comedies. These include The Floor Walker, The Fireman, The Vagabond, 1 a.m., a production in which he was the only character for the entire two reels with the exception of the entrance of a cab driver in the opening scene, The Count, The Pawn Shop, Behind the Screen, The Ring, Easy Street, heralded as his greatest production up to that time, The Cure, The Immigrant, and The Adventurer. When his contract with Mutual expired in 1917, Chaplin decided to become an independent producer in a desire for more freedom and greater leisure in making his movies. To that end, he busied himself with the construction of his own studios. This plant was situated in the heart of the residential section of Hollywood at La Brea Avenue. Chaplin was known as one of the most demanding men in Hollywood. Regardless of the size of the part, Chaplin walked each actor through every scene. Chaplin knew that a successful scene was not simply about the star, but about everyone on the screen. He demanded that the entire cast work together in every performance. Without this unity he could not express the subtlety of character that was so important to him. The only way to achieve that unity was to maintain complete control over every scene. This constant attention to detail ran many features over time and over budget, but the public reaction assured him and the studios that what he was doing worked. As his popularity increased he took more liberties with filming. Movies such as his 1925 hit, The Gold Rush, demanded unending reworking of scenes and rebuilding of sets. Chaplin typically improvised his story in front of the camera with only a basic framework of a script. He shot and printed hundreds of takes when making a movie, each one a little experimental variation. While this method was unorthodox, because of the expense and inefficiency, it provided lively and spontaneous footage. Taking what he learned from the footage, Chaplin would often completely reorganize a scene. It was not uncommon for him to decide halfway through a film that an actor wasn't working and start over with someone new. Many actors found the constant takes and uncertainty grueling, but always went along because they knew they were working for a master. Chaplin's versatility extended to writing, music and sports. He was the author of at least 4 books, My Trip Abroad, A Comedian Sees the World, my autobiography, My Life in Pictures, as well as all of his scripts. An accomplished musician, though self-taught, he played a variety of instruments with equal skill and facility, playing violin and cello left-handed. He was also a composer, having written and published many songs, among them, Sing a Song, With Your Dear in Bombay, and There's Always One You Can't Forget, Smile, Eternally, You Are My Song, as well as the soundtracks for all his films. Charles Chaplin was one of the rare comedians who not only financed and produced all his films with the exception of A Countess from Hong Kong, but was the author, actor, director and soundtrack composer of them as well. He died on Christmas Day 1977, survived by 8 children from his last marriage with Una O'Neill and 1 son from his short marriage to Rita Gray. Though Chaplin is of the silent movie era, we see his achievements carried through in the films of today. With the advent of the feature-length talkies, the need for more subtle acting became apparent. To maintain the audience's attention throughout a 6-reel film, an actor needed to move beyond constant slapstick. Chaplin had demanded this depth long before anyone else. His rigor and concern for the processes of acting and directing made his films great and led the way to a new, more sophisticated cinema.